seminar where someone talk and the other just listen or take notes. I would like you to consider this moment like a moment of sharing, of best practice, of personal experience, of whatever can enrich each other of us. So if any one of you would like to share something with these, with her colleagues, because you're all a woman, and you can use still the chat you can find on the left side of your desk. So 3, 2, 1. Torna indietro? Sì. Ok, nobody does. Perfect.
Mike.
I'm sorry for this interruption. Unfortunately, on these days in Cagliari, we are crossing a very bad weather moment, and even if we are in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, there are several big storms and blackouts are occur very currently during the last 2 days. So today we'll talk about the role, the characteristic of the spin doctors. That's why we started before with that song that was made by a band called Spin Doctors in the middle of the 90s. As you probably know, spin doctor is that kind of role that take care of public image of politicians in Anglo-Saxon political systems, and his capability are not only about organization of events, but they are mostly about using mass media and using communication in order to improve the reputation of the person, of the organization is working for. Then we talk about the strategies and tactics of communication, the instruments of communication, and then we will have a Q&A session in which we will talk to each other if you would like to. Okay. During my experience in the Dissemination program, in realization of event and in attending event made by other organizations, I noticed there was a very big lack of care in developing a communication plan related to the project. In other words, I noticed that for the most organizations, a simple Facebook page or a simple post in Twitter was enough to create a communication campaign. That was absolutely wrong because they create some bad reputation for our sector. Nobody takes in serious consideration what we are doing on a political level because we still are those who just take pictures where youngsters jump, raising up the arms and screaming euthanasia and this kind of things. That's absolutely wrong. It's good using new technologies, it's good using Facebook, Twitter, or whatever you want to do. But still, besides, you must do this in the frame of a big communication plan, which involves all the instruments required by modern communication. So, communication for program projects is a very serious matter that should be done in a very, very, very serious way. But let's see more what is the role of this spin doctor, of communication manager, or whatever you want to call it. According to the German philosopher Schopenhauer, what happens to us as reality is a representation of our senses. I see something, I see a wall in front of me, but according to Schopenhauer, the wall that I see in front of me is not reality, it's just an illusion that I got through my senses that filter this image of the wall and make me to think that there is a wall there. And to express that concept, Schopenhauer used the myth of Maya, which is a very important Hindu goddess that was having this capability of making people to believe what she wanted them to believe through this veil through which she was used to cover the eyes of the people. So you must consider the communicator, the spin doctor, someone like Maya. Just one moment. Sorry, we have some technical problem. No,
A tutto schermo.
Cioè, no, lo vedo, no?
Sì, sì, sì.
Okay. So, you must consider that your role, like the role of Maya, you must influence the communication, you must influence mass media, social media, all the instruments you use in order to make the public opinion to reach for the concept that you want to improve your organization.
Non ti vedo adesso. Quindi non ti vedo.
Take care. Communication is not a project manager. In most of cases, this small organization doesn't have a lot of resources inside their board, so it's pretty normal that the same person take care of several tasks or several roles. But still, even if you are a project manager and you are in the phase of communication, you must consider yourself like something different from a project manager. You don't have to be in love of what you are doing, because your role is just a technical role. You don't care about the project you are presenting through media to the community, because your only task is to make a good presentation, a very affecting presentation of your work. You don't have to have any kind of opinion on the quality of your project. I managed several conferences, several projects on past, several process, campaign, whatever you want. And I remember different cases in which I was presenting so very poor project, but the room was full of press, full of media, and there were TV reportages, there were newspaper articles. And in other case, we were presenting beautiful project, very well developed, but nobody seemed to care about it. That means that you don't have to be influenced by the quality of the project. Even if you don't like the project, you don't care about that, because you will still do a good job, because your job is make a good presentation of the project. Then, of course, it can be that a project can have some positive, some strong sides, some strong point. For example, if you are hosting a very big, important personality from politics, sport, culture, or whatever, of course, there is a strong point of the project, and you have to remark it in your communication. And beside this, if there are weak points in your project, of course, you are not going to the mass media and say, okay, my project is not that good, come on. Nothing special, it's in the average. No, you don't do that, because that is not your job. And now we are entering a very, how to say, difficult topic. I mean, the role of the communicator is not to tell the reality as it is. I mean, if you want to do that, you do another kind of job. If you want to be a good spin doctor, you are able to make something bad to look like good. Indietro?
Indietro.
Sì. The role of the communicator is to make to look good what is bad, to make to seem important what is irrelevant, to reiterate the importance of what we does not have anymore. In other words, there are not good projects or bad projects. There are projects that are communicated in a proper way, and others which are not communicated in a proper way. And that depends only on you. If you start with the mindset that your project that you are presenting is trash, of course your communication is going to be trash. But even if it's bad, it's horrible, even if it was attended only by 3-4 people out of 50 that were expected, you don't care. You are going to the press, you are going to the mass media, and going to tell them that project was pretty absolutely good. Of course, this is not ethical. Of course, this is not moral, maybe, but still, we live in a society that requires some kind of standards in terms of appealing, in terms of communication. Regarding this fact, I would like to ask my colleague Giovanni if we can to show the second video. Now we will do later, okay?
Yeah.
Andiamo avanti? Ok. Sì, sì. Just one moment, please. We are trying to fix. No, non serve.
Sì, no, tutto.
Tutto via. Okay, sorry, we still were having that kind of the kind of problem with electricity. It's a nightmare, believe me. Everybody say that weather in Sardinia is beautiful, and sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, because now there is a big storm over there, and it's absolutely terrible. So don't forget, if you want to talk about reality, please be a journalist, because the journalist has a role which is to tell about reality. Of course, we don't know they don't always do that, but still that's the goal, the main goal of a journalist. A communicator do something different, which is not telling about an objective reality. His goal is tell about his own reality. So let's see what are the main skill capabilities that a spin doctor should have in order to make a good job, in order to make a good activity. So a good spin doctor must have a very deep knowledge of the media, new and traditional. If you want to use an instrument, you must know perfectly that instrument. And so you must know how a newspaper works. You must know how a TV works. You must know everything about the inner structure of, for example, a TV news show. And of course, you must know also about new media. I mean, all the media which are related to internet, like Facebook, Google+, Twitter, or whatever. So the first suggestion that I recommend you is to be always updated about the media world, not only the new one, but also about the traditional. We know that many organizations are very good and skillful in new media. They know how to create very good format in Facebook, in Google+, or in Pinterest, or in Instagram, or in many other contents, but still, sometimes they show a very deep lack in the knowledge of traditional media. A good communicator should always be informed about the activities of the main actors and of the context in which it operates. Of course, if you live in some place where there are some problems related, for example, to some racial issues, and you make a project related to that, you will have to invite to attend to the conference or dissemination of the project people that is operating in that sector. So every day, every morning, please keep updated through the reading of newspaper, through the reading of website, and whatever else. No, resta qui. Come sta il video? You must have skills in writing. Writing is everything. When I was young and there still were no internet, a lot of people used to say that maybe we were losing the capabilities of writing because everything was about images, movies, video, and everything was about TV. Then, meanwhile, we had the internet, and through internet we learn more about writing, about posting, about sending email, and we start again writing. And now, writing is again one of the most important skills that we must have.
No,
okay. Of course. The good communicator must also be creative, and being creative is something which is good in every sector of life. but above all in this case, in which you are working through messages, you are working through inputs, you are working through some signals that catch the attention of the people that receive them. So you must use all your creativity to create the format which is not banal or predictable and that can properly improve the quality of your project. No, you must have interpersonal and communication skills. So it's not only about writing a post, it's not only writing a newspaper article. It's also about keeping interpersonal relationship with all the most important actors and stakeholders of your content. Journalists are very busy nowadays and they attend several press conferences every day. So why they should choose your conference instead of someone else's conference? Also because no one of us is Greenpeace or is WWF or is Amnesty International. We all are, let's say, small organization and we all must fight to have a space under the sunlight. So if you want to have journalists in our meeting, we have to know them, we have to contact them, we have to be friendly with them, we have to make a kind of network, informal network with them. In other words, a good spin doctor must also be a good PR already to act as the first lobbyist for his organization. We know that in many countries, being a lobbyist is considered something bad because it is seen like something that interferes with the natural process of democratic decision. That's absolutely wrong. Being a lobbyist is absolutely legitimate and it's part of democracy and you represent your organization. You must your organization to be in the center of the political debate, in the center of the cultural debate, and you must your project to be the center of the life of your community. So it's nothing bad if you cooperate, if you convince local stakeholders, local actors, local representative institutions to take part in your event. Please, we were talking about this with some colleagues of mine some days ago. We must sort out of this youth dimension. Of course, many of us work with youth people, which is very important because we always repeat ourselves that youth is the future, and we know it's like that. We know that youth, they are the new poor people of this of the age where we are living, and we must provide them a future in terms of occupation, in terms of hopes, in terms of whatever can make them good citizens and happy. But please, let's go out of this dilettantistic dimension, like, oh, we are young, so all our communication it must be young style, it must be like, oh, we are young and enthusiastic. Stop with that, please. And you must be a lobbyist, and you must consider your activity as fundamental for the future of your local community because you are working for youngsters. You're not working for something theoretical, something in the air. Tactics and strategy of a spin doctor, and something that we must use in the community. Of course, now we are doing this webinar in 2 hours, so we must a little bit make everything more compact. Otherwise, this issue will require us, I think, days of discussion, day of chatting, day of talking, day of communication. As you probably know, there is a difference between tactics and strategy. Strategy is in the long run something related to military issues and is related to something that will be taking consideration a long period. So I use my resources, I use all my strength, my soldiers trying to reach for a goal which is in the long run. When state tactics is something more related to the short run, is something related to a shorter period. A classical example that was given in military school is the German General Marshal Rommel, which was a very good general in North Africa during the Second World War, he was able to win single battle, but it was completely unable to plan a strong campaign and defeat the British forces in North Africa. So, according to what we said before, now we enter to the phase of the strategy and tactics. Let's see before the strategy. Enter your organization in the mainstream of political debate related to your sector. This is something which has to do with what we were saying before. Many organizations decide themselves to be on the second row, to be not important, because they say we are just a youth organization, we are a student organization, we work with youngsters, so it's natural that we stay one step behind, because the big politics is other things, is about health, is about university education, is about building new streets, is about this kind of things. That's absolutely wrong, because the community will give you the role that you want to give yourself. And if you are not important, if nobody is considering you, is because you decide that, you decide you are not important, you decide that your message was a relatively important message, a not important message. So it's just your decision. Second point. Oh, of course, whenever you want to stop me to add something and to ask or to share something,
Excellent. My turn. I'm Commander Klaus Adler of the Fourth Reich. We're based on the moon. I'm told you know the President of these United States of the Americas. You... Excellent. My turn. I'm Commander Klaus Adler of the Fourth Reich. We're based on the moon. I'm told you know the President of these United States of the Americas. You will take us to that President because I have a very special present for him.
Him? Well, he'll love that. He just loves presents.
As soon as my mission is accomplished, the Nazi invasion force will be called in under my directions, and we will end the good times for the bad people.
And just how do you propose to do that?
We'll simply eliminate them.
What? Sorry, that is not what we are doing.
Renate, I don't think that you... Yeah. Why not? Why don't you tell this Fräulein while we're here? Just like you keep telling your pupils. Hmm?
I would love to do that. You see, the National Socialist Party is the People's Party, nothing more. We wish to return to Earth with our message of peace and unity, love for virtue, and kindness, for example. We are healthy in mind and body. Our spirits are brave and true. And we achieve because we are strong and disciplined in our core. There is simply no belief that can match ours. Because peace and unity is the gift we bring to all mankind. What you and all Earthlings need to know is that...
Yeah. I get it, Hedwig. This is good. This is gonna work. You, I need. And you, I want. All right. Let's go meet the President. Madam President. Here is the miracle you asked for.
Who is this man?
He will lead the campaign troops.
Oh.
Renate, please.
This is very simple. The world is sick. But we are the doctors. The world is anemic. But we are the vitamin. The world is weary. But we are the strength. We are here to make the world healthy once again. With hard work. With honesty. sincerity, with decency. We are the product of loving mothers and brave fathers. We are the embodiment of love and bravery. We are the gift of both God and science. We are the answer to the question. We are the promise delivered to all mankind. For that we raise our hand to one nation. We step to the beat of one drum. And it is this song. We march to the beat of one heart.
This world. We are the people who carry the children on our shoulders. The same way that our fathers carried us and their fathers carried them. We are the one people, united and strong. We are the one people with certainty, moral certainty. We are invincible, and we have no fear. Because the truth makes us one.
The video is over. There were unfortunately some technical problems, but by the way, at the end of this webinar, we will send you all the videos or all the link where you can download them from, and really see this movie because it's hilarious and it can teach you a lot about the world and the work of communication. Someone of you was writing to us in the chat.
Dove qual la slide? Questa?
Indietro? Sì, indietro. Ok. Ok.
Non sono presentate, se vuoi parlare ci sono.
Okay, and now we are reading some of the messages that you send us.
I will show you, Michele, questo. I'm Natia from Georgia, and I'm going to Croatia.
Okay, Natia is telling us that she's from Georgia, and now she's a volunteer in Croatia, and she's a project manager in some training courses. I guess it was in the frame of a Youth in Action or Erasmus Plus program. Correct me please if I'm mistaken. Can you please share with us your experience, Natia?
Sì, Natia sta scrivendo una notizione che Olga Motto ha scritto che le agenzie lavorano in Germania.
Okay.
Sta scrivendo.
Natia is typing, so we are waiting for the feedback. And then there is also Olga Matto, which she is from Albania, and now she is a volunteer in Germany. Are you EVS volunteer? In this sector, sharing is very, very important because that can give you some new ideas that you couldn't even think of. And that's why we always gather together and we try to make this sharing of best practice and experiences. Okay. Hold on. So while Natia is typing, we can, okay.
Yes.
Natia says, it was a Dissemination project training about unemployment, and there was a manager and communicator at the time. From experience, I can say that it is so difficult. So Natia, what do you say it's difficult? I'm not saying that you are wrong, just asking why.
cose nuove.
Immagina le cose per il microfono, per più senso.
Come? Questo è un buon...
Vabbè. Newspapers and TV was going to end their era, and they would have only new media, and everything would be through the internet. In some way that was true, in some way that happened, but that didn't mean that traditional media ended their life. They still exist, they still are very, very important, and they still are trendsetter. So the mistake made by many youth organizations is to avoid, to ignore the world of traditional media, because that's something old, that's something for politicians. We are the youth organization, we are the youngsters, so we just use a website, we just use Facebook, and we make a post, and that's it, it's done. No, that's wrong. You must use the traditional media because they can provide you a very, very good coverage of public opinion, and they have very, very positive sides.
Wow.
And as I told you before, it's fundamental that you create your network of partnership and friendship with journalists. treat them in a proper way, because if you do that, they will give you back a lot of attention. So you must be smart to them, you must be friendly to them, and not treat them as part of that bad world of other people that hate us youngest. That's wrong.
Oh.
Tools of the traditional media. I always recommend my colleagues to use massively traditional media, because they can provide you good result in terms of media coverage with very little efforts, very little cost. The most common tool of traditional media is the press release. I would like to ask Natia or whoever is part of this webinar, have you ever sent a press release related to a project?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and through the sending of these press release, did you have any article of any journalist attended your event or your project? Sorry, one moment. Mimosa asked, what is wrong? What is wrong is considering all the media as part of a world which is not part of our world. That's wrong. Prego.
My country journalist warned me that if you have some famous West during the...
Yes, Nati, unfortunately that can happen, and I'm sure that if I'm holding a conference that will be attended by Cristiano Ronaldo or by Justin Timberlake, I will have a hall full of media. But still, that's why I was suggesting you to create and establish partnership with journalists. If you still need to create your space in your community, if you are not known yet, if you don't have a reputation yet, and nobody knows you, I don't know if this is your case, I'm talking theoretically, and you must approach journalists and you must meet them, you must know them in order to make them to be closer to you. So it's not only about sending a press release, it's above all creating a partnership, a network, an informal network with journalists in which the sending of the release, the press release is just the last step. And it's very important also to establish the content of these press release. For example, in TDA 2000, we have a big mailing list which has hundreds of but still it can help a lot.
Sì, saltato il sistema.
Then,
Can you hear us? Chiedo se ci sentono.
Can you hear us? Because Natalia is saying that she has... torna indietro.
Ancora? Questo? It's...
Okay, great. Then, beside this, of course, you must send this press newspaper to, this press release to newspapers, to the press offices of institutions and organizations. You know that, for example, any kind of local institution, like a municipality or a regional government or a public agency, has a press office whose task is not only sending information to the newspaper, but also to receive some press releases, because they put it in their website, and that's also something that is spread and give you a wider reputation. And in case you send a press release once, twice, 3 times, and you don't see any kind of article in the newspaper, please don't be pessimistic, because even if you cannot see it, that press release is going to the internet, is sent to several contents, and a lot of people is reading it, even if it's not in the newspaper. Okay.
No?
Okay. This is a typical example of a press release. First of all, I want to tell you that I'm not a journalist. I mean, I do something different. I don't write articles. I'm not good in writing articles. I wouldn't be able in writing articles according you must do if you are a journalist. And I take care of relationship with the press. And if you want to communicate with them, there are some rules you must follow. First of all, consider that any newspaper is used to receive hundreds of communiques every day. Hundreds. So why yours should be different if you are not Obama or Putin? First of all, it can be different if you follow some rules in writing it. First of all, you cannot send the press release around midnight and expect the press to be present on the next day at 10 o'clock. One of the basic rules is to send a press release not later than 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Cristina chiede se ti spendiamo la presentazione via mail.
Yes, Cristina, we will send the presentation via mail.
Leggi questo?
Sì, sì, carico. That's because every newspaper made this kind of meeting between the journalists around that time, and they analyze all the press releases they receive, and they decide which event to cover the next day, or which article write about among all these press releases they received during the day. Second point, as I told you before, they receive many press releases, so you cannot expect them to read all of them properly. So please don't write something like Tolstoy novel with 300 pages. It must be as short as possible. Your press release must contain the essential information, like the one you are seeing now. As you can see, is very brief, very short, but it has everything is necessary for a journalist to have a complete idea about the event he's talking about. So a clear title and a clear information, 2 or 3 lines. You don't have to prove that you are good in writing. You have to prove you are good in managing information. And a proper management information means say a lot of concepts in a very small number of lines. And of course, there must be the name of the person in charge to send this press release. And there must be also the number of the press contact. I mean, someone that the press, a member of journalists can contact in order to have further information about the event. See? Other instruments, press kit. Does anybody know what is a press kit without reading this thing? Okay, I will go further. Consider a very important aspect of this fact. Journalists are not your enemies. They have no interest in writing bad things about your project or about you, unless you are a a big political party or something like that. They only want to make an article. So if you provide them the information they need to make the article, they will be absolutely glad to use them without changing the meaning of what you are doing, without writing anything wrong about your project. So the press kit is a fantastic instrument to deal to journalists. A press kit is basically there are some papers which contains a short description of the event, a short description of the organization which is holding the event, and the press release. And the journalist will use that press kit to write the article. So if you want that the article the next day has some information, if you want to improve your reputation to the article, you must write down a press kit which contains all this kind of information. Then another thing, the press conference. You know that realizing conferences sometimes is very stressing. It costs a lot of money because you must publish, create posters, flip chart, flyers, and you must send invitation to people. You must, in many cases, rent a hall that must be elegant because maybe the contest is very formal and so on. So it's not always to realize 2 or 3 of these conferences every month because it will take a lot of, in terms of cost and in terms also of time, and people will get bored for sure. But still there is something which is the press conference that allows you to do something which has a public relevance, but at the same time, it doesn't have any kind of cost and it doesn't have any problem in terms of organization. Basically, a press conference is a conference, a public event in which you invite the local press to talk to them about what you are or what you are doing. Okay, so you don't need to have posters, you don't need to have promotional materials, because you just need to have the press. And the press doesn't go to your event because they say a poster. They do because you have a connection with them. I would like to ask Natalia, when you were managing your project, did you make a press conference? Okay, why is she eventually? Okay, she's answering. Okay.
What?
Sorry, I called you Natalia.
No. Quando vuoi, il quarto video è caricato. Quello sì.
Okay.
Il 3 ci mette un'altra vita.
No.
I never had a press conference before in the process.
Okay, you can make a press conference at the beginning of the project, in the middle, or even at the end to present the results that you obtained to your project. But still, it's not something that requires a lot of time in terms of organization. It doesn't require any kind of money because basically you can hold a press conference wherever you want. Even a park can be a place for a press conference. Even a bar can be like that. Or you can use, it's a very common tactic strategy, for example, the city hall that normally is given for free to this kind of event in any country of Europe. You just have to call the journalist, and if they come, you will have a good media coverage. If they don't come, you won't have wasted any kind of money or any kind of time. So I would recommend you to, whenever you have a project, to do a press conference. It doesn't cost anything, so why not try to do it? And
Yes, if they come, say.
yes, if they come, but if you don't realize the press conference, for sure they won't come. You cannot expect them to catch you in the street, ask you for an interview. But if you try to organize this press conference, and if you're working hard on creating partnership and networking with the journalists, then for sure you will have a result, believe me, and experience it, this kind of process. And also another technical aspect is much more easier to have a passage on TV during a press conference than during any other kind of meeting.
Not this time. Voi che vado avanti con la slide, ovviamente no. To use acqua instance.
No, andiamo avanti.
L'hai letto quello che
Sì, sì, sì. With advice, Natia. Okay, new media. This open another page, and I guess that some of you was expecting that this webinar would be focused on this argument, and I have this impression that now we tend to overestimate the importance of new media. We think that new media on their own, they are enough to create a good campaign. Yes, sometimes can be true in case of viral campaign. For sure, that's true. But in the most of cases, and I would say in the 99% of cases, is not true. And the new media has this kind of weak side. I mean, everything is in new media now. So it means that nothing is new media.
Federico is right. Something like.
Yes, Federico is absolutely right. It takes a lot of time because if you don't have any kind of connection or links or knowledge in your local community, you cannot be from today to tomorrow a mainstream subject. So that's a process of growing up on improving your network, improving your partnership, improving your friendship, improving all the connection you must have with press. We're talking about new media. In my opinion, at the moment, new media, they are like a tie on a formal contest. You know, a tie is not something which is useful. I mean, you don't use it to repair from cold or from hot. It's something that you must use and during a formal contest, because otherwise you will have a bad reputation. It's the same for social media. Social media cannot change your life radically. They do only as a part of a global strategy, but they're not enough to change your reputation, to change what you are doing. But if you don't have social media, you are like a person without a tie during a wedding. I mean, you are out of context. So you must have social media and you must use them in the proper way. Don't forget that now Facebook is getting closer and close to all the outsiders. I mean, Facebook is introducing now a lot of business services, and which can be used only by companies or big organizations who can spend money in this sector. If you are an outsider, maybe Facebook is not the correct place for you. Of course, you must have your Facebook page or Facebook profile or Facebook whatever, but don't expect to improve your reputation or to improve your importance to Facebook. It doesn't work like that. If you are looking for a new media, which is instead, will give you instead more feedbacks and biggest output, that's for sure Google+. It's very criticized. I experienced Google+, and I have wonderful results through Google+, because I had much more feedbacks than Facebook or Twitter or the other social media that are currently used. Also in this case, as we said before, don't forget that putting contents online doesn't mean that you must put everything the same message. If you use Facebook, you must follow some rules. If you use Twitter, you must follow some rules. For example, beside me, my colleague Giovanni is a very big expert of Twitter. He can use it very well. He always said me that Twitter has his own rules, like Facebook has, like Google Plus has. But still, you must use them combined in order to reach the highest amount of people. And I suggest you to use as an instrument of work Hootsuite. Maybe we can see it in the internet. Can we open an internet page? What is Hootsuite? Hootsuite is a service that, an online service that allows you to use together all the social media you want without any kind of limits. And you can schedule a campaign. You can decide that one post will be published on Google Plus on a certain day, and another post will be published in Pinterest or in Instagram on another day. And that's very useful also because it gives you a lot of feedback of what we are doing.
Ok, adesso posso vedere. Ok, puoi parlare, sì, sì, lo sto mostrando.
Okay, this is the welcome page of Hootsuite. As you can see, right down there are all the logo of the instruments they can use, and we're not making any kind of advertising, but you can make a free trial. Believe me, for using together on all the social media, Hootsuite is the perfect instrument we currently do, and we are very satisfied about that. And then there is another instrument, several instruments for sending also emails, which are campaign monitor and
quello che fa
sì.
I
I mean, there are several instruments for sending massive email services, and we use Campaign Monitor because it gives you very good feedback of who opened the email you sent and who marked it as spam, so you can beat him up and all these kind of things. But in conclusion, I would like to tell you that don't expect miracles from social media, and that's a lie that big companies of social media are interested to spread. And even if you are reaching for likes, you can paste, you can stalk all your friends or relatives to ask them to put their likes in your post, and then what are you achieving? You are achieving a real interest in public opinion, no, you're achieving just a bigger number under your post. That doesn't mean the public opinion is aware of what you are doing. And there are several services who provide for $50, $60 a lot of followers in Twitter, in Facebook for 1 year. And so that's not really the goal of a good campaign, I think. Then I would like to show you another video, which is related to this kind of things.
Vado?
Still from Minor Sky.
I assume these are just preliminary ideas.
Sir, we had a very small delivery window.
Sir?
Yes, sir. Ma'am, and this is all.
Anyone who is not the head of a department should leave. You idiots! You morons! That's an insult to morons! What is this shit? I have a meeting with the President of the United fucking States of America tomorrow fucking morning! Not the President of fucking Zambia! Not the President of the fucking Janitors Union! But the President of the fucking country! Which you just happen to be fucking pieces of hellacious shit! What am I supposed to tell her? That my employees are not intelligent enough to be fucking morons?
Cioè tipo stai in linea, puoi parlare?
Okay, so are there any questions? Or any one of you would like to share something like Nadia and Mimosa did before?
Questo è il layout per
Sta scrivendo?
No, sto scrivendo. Così.
Okay. So if nobody wants to share anything, and so I ask you for attending this webinar. I remind you the appointment of tomorrow with Mr. Federico Gabbiano at 4 o'clock. He will talk to us about project management. Federico Gabbiano is a trainer, so he's the right person to face this topic, and it will be very interesting. I would recommend you to follow it. Thank you for your kind attention. Of course, we will send you soon, I mean, even today, all the material that we produce for this webinar, even my personal mail, so you can contact me, and whatever, any kind of information you might need, please don't hesitate and contact me. I will be absolutely pleased and glad to answer to you. Thank you everybody.
Thank you.
And have a nice day. Ciao a tutti.
Stop.